Okay, so I wanted to do a segment about fascism. It's trending on Twitter now because fascism is on the rise in Europe, in Asia, and like on all over the world, really. In America too. We all know. And if you're wondering where fascism leads to, just ask Benito Mussolini and his mistress Coloretta. This was a legendary moment in fascists being owned on Twitter. And then Alessandra Mussolini says, "You are a bastard." Ooh. Yeah, girl boss fascism. So, fascism is a very old term, and people disagree about what it means. But it's one of those things where you can't quite put your finger on it, on the definition, but if you see it, then you can identify it. And this clip has been going around ever since the election of Donald Trump, where people realize, oh wow, it can happen here because it just sort of did happen here. People think, oh, fascism can never happen in America because we're American exceptionalists. We're America's like exceptionally cool and based and reasonable. It could never happen here, but it can, and it almost did. There was a big fascist movement in America that was very sympathetic to Nazis. Of course, it was very based in white supremacy. Not based; it was very cringe, but it was based, yeah, in white supremacy. And it didn't really go away. It sort of just went underground once America declared war uh, on Germany, Japan, and then Germany, because it became like less politically viable to be fascist because we were fighting the great fascist powers of the world, and well, America was like the first functional democracy, the first large successful democracy in history, really, at least for a while. Um, or it was the first in a while, coming out of the dark ages of Europe. And well, it's interesting to think how history could have been different if maybe if FDR wasn't president, if there was a right-wing president in charge of America at the time, could the fascist elements of America have taken over the country? Perhaps, and maybe we have even allied with the Axis powers. That would have been really scary. Because when you think about it, America was isolationist for a very long time before we entered the war formally. Because we entered the war in 1941, right? I know D-Day was in 1941, but we started fighting in Africa before then, and Italy. Um, yeah, it's scary. We really got lucky. Of course, the material conditions, as I like to say, leading up to the World War, um, enabled a fairly left-wing president to take over. Um, FDR was pretty cool. Of course, he did the Japanese internment camps, which was not cool, but like, yeah. Overall, he was for his time, he was very good. And yeah, there's a big left-wing movement in the country at that time. You can say it had some varying success when it came to dealing with the Great Depression, but it did better than a right-wing government would have done. That's for sure. The very conservative governments of like the 1920s with the laissez-faire economics kind of caused the Great Depression, at least in part, right? Yeah. So anyway, going on off a tangent there. Um, this film in 1943 was made during World War II when we were fighting the Nazis and Japan. And this is when like fascism. This is like after fascism became not cool in America, and when anti-fascism became very cool. So, yeah, this film was made like as a warning to future generations, and we're the future generation that needs to be warned about fascism. So let's hear about it. Like I said, it's hard to define fascism. It's like a lot of things, like consciousness. It's like or like a lot of different concepts that are like difficult to define, but you know instinctively, intuitively when you see it, right? You'll see that fascism is in effect very it's a very old thing, right? It's basically like the desire for like a very authoritarian autocratic totalitarian government, and it takes many forms, but it has the very same themes. So let's see. It's disturbingly relevant today, and yes.
I happen to know the facts. My friends, I'm just an average American.
Just an average American.
But I'm an American
An
American.
American. I'm a real American.
Country of ours make my blood boil.
Yep, that's a classic fascist trope. Like, oh, I'm the real American, or I'm the real countryman. We're the real Germans, or the real Italians, or the real Japanese. I don't know how fascism was different in Japan. I mean, they had the whole empire and everything. Who was like the incarnation of the Japanese god on Earth, right? But or like some kind of holy figure. So that's different. But yeah, the fascists believe that they are the real countrymen, and that everything else is, all the other forces that oppose them are fake somehow. Like of course Donald Trump and the Republicans believe that they are the real Americans, right? One of the reasons why Trump just could not accept his defeat in the recent election, because he just cannot conceive of like average, like regular Americans opposing him, because he conceives of himself as like the real American, right? Whatever that means.
Holding jobs that belong to me and
Oh, Negro. Uh-oh. Am I allowed to say that? Uh-oh. I'm gonna get canceled.
Going to become of us real Americans.
Real Americans. It's okay to say it, because I'm quoting this old film. Yeah, hey, it was normal to say back then, okay? I've heard this kind of talk before.
I've heard this kind of talk before, but I never expected to hear it in America.
Is this guy German? A German immigrant? A German Jew, perhaps?
This fella seems to know what he's talking about.
This fella seems... Yeah, he seems to know what he's talking about. Again, like, it's coming with right-wing politicians, but, like, fascists and, like, especially, they're very confident in what they say, right? They scream about stuff, and they're very confident. They say, oh, I happen to know the facts. What I say is just the truth. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm just telling it like it is. Or it's like, nobody really knows that they're right, right? Nobody is right about everything. And if you think you're right about everything, then you got some learning to do. You got some growing up to do. Look, I think I'm really smart, but like, even I admit that like, I'm wrong about some things sometimes. And it's a part of learning and growing that you got to admit that you're wrong, and you always have to be educating yourself, right? Yeah, and so if you say what you're saying really confidently, you're like, it seems like you know what you're talking about. You seem like because if you're that confident, you gotta be sure about what you're talking about, right? But no, you don't have to be sure. You don't have to know any facts to believe that you're correct. What are we real Americans going to do about it? Oh, yep, there it is. The real Americans, as in the whites. He said,
I see Negroes holding jobs that belong to me and you.
yeah, implying that, oh, Negroes are not real Americans, or black people are not real Americans. I'm sorry, if anyone's offended by the soft N-word. I mean, yeah, it's totally normal to say. Right? Back then it was. Yeah, that belong to me and you, as in the real Americans. Implying like, yeah, what is a real American? It's I guess it's someone that will blindly serve the national interest. But like a lot of black people would still do that, but they would still never be real Americans because again, they're just racist. It's just racism.
Now I ask you, if we allow this thing to go on, what's going to become of us real Americans?
I've heard this
I'm glad they
kind of
have
talk
that.
before,
I'm glad they have one black guy in there just shaking his head like, no, racism is bad. Yeah, thanks for letting us know.
but I never expected
Thanks for
to hear it
yeah.
again.
That's as much black representation as you're going to get in this day and age. Like a guy shaking his head at some racist yelling about these Negroes.
This fella seems to know what he's talking about.
He seems to know.
Americans going to do about it? You'll find it right here in this little pamphlet. The truth about Negroes and foreigners.
And foreigners.
About the Catholic Church.
The Catholic Church. Oh yeah, the truth about the Catholic Church, as in the lies that we spread about it to make you angry and afraid at them, so we can weaponize your feelings and your anger and your fear to attack others. Yeah, that's another fascist trope. They play the victim so much. It's a huge victim complex. It's like, oh, Americans are being attacked. America is being attacked by all these outside forces and these inside forces that are subverting the real Americans. This guy doesn't say the Jews here, but it's kind of implied, like the truth about black people and foreigners. I wonder what the truth about black people is to this guy. Yeah, that's yeah, there's always there's always got to be some conspiracy, some grand conspiracy, right? Maybe even back now, like talking about Jews is kind of a taboo. Yeah, do you really believe in this? Yeah, is this guy really fooling you?
I don't know, makes pretty good sense to me.
Makes good sense to me. Yeah, he's like, I don't know. It sounds good. It sounds like it makes sense, so it must make sense, right? Yeah. Again, like, unfortunately, a lot of right-wing talking points like sound very intuitively correct. Like, oh, you don't even have to think about it, right? It's just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, immigrants are taking our jobs. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they're coming in and they're taking and they're getting jobs in this country, and that's a job that I could have had, but it's more complicated than that. Like, there have been labor shortages in like agriculture sectors, for example, because like they don't get immigrants to do the work because there's like a lack of immigrants. And then like, of course, white people are not going to like stand in a field for 8 hours picking raspberries or whatever, right? Because that's not white people work. Yeah, they're gonna get sunburned in that sun all day, right? Yeah, it's just intuitive to say, oh, there's some grand conspiracy that's like conspiring like against America to bring it down from within, instead of like, oh, America is dealing with some problems, and problems that can be solved if we put in a little work, a little elbow grease. But it's much easier to think like, oh, there's this evil cabal of like secret billionaires secretly trying to bring down the government because they just hate America, because they hate everything America stands for. Yeah.
Tell you friends, we'll never be able to call this country our
Never be able
own
to call this country
until
our own.
it's a country without.
A country without what? A country without the Negroes, or I'm gonna get in trouble. The foreigners, or the Jews, or yeah, a country without. Yeah, there's always got to be some enemy in fascism, right? There's always got to be like, because like fascism is all about like conflict, and like it appeals to like the masculine urge to fight, right? The masculine urge to seek out enemies and destroy them and obliterate them, and like feel like you're dominating someone, because you got to dominate someone, right? Because it feels so good. You got to feel like there has to be a hierarchy and you have to be at the top of it. That's what these people believe. And of of course, once they eradicate all of the perceived enemies within their own borders, then they run out of enemies within their own borders, and they have to go seek out enemies without their borders. Right? Yeah, fascism runs on war, basically. It has to be like eternal conflict, and they believe that that's how human society is supposed to be, right? They think that by having constant warfare, we're always like doing natural selection, right? Because we don't have natural selection because we're not in a natural state. So we have to have some kind of selection, and so in their eyes, they are weeding out the weak elements of our society by constantly like causing death or like sending people off to die in battle, because only the strong will survive in battle, right? Well, it's not that complicated. The best warriors in your country can be blown up with a bomb, right? Just indiscriminately, right? Yeah, warfare is not so simple. It's not so glorious.
Yeah, without what?
Without what? Oh, there it is. Without Negroes, without aliens. Yeah. It's really the same, right? Yeah. Yeah, American fascism is the same as it's always been. Back in the 40s, back in even before the 40s, there were some really far right people back in the 1800s. Believe me. Yeah.
Without Negroes.
Without
Alien foreigners.
without the Jews or the non-Protestants, I guess.
Without Catholics.
Freemasons. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's the secret cabal of scheming billionaires. Yeah, they don't say the Jews, but they say they that's what they mean.
Without Freemasons. You know these.
What's wrong with a Mason?
What's wrong with the Masons? Oh, this guy's like,
I'm a Mason.
oh, this guy's a Mason.
I was talking about me.
Hey, it's supposed to talk about me.
And that makes a difference, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They always have to find someone else to fight. Like, yeah, when they run out of black people and foreigners and Catholics, then they have to find someone else. Then it's the Jews, or then it's the Masons. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the Freemasons are even. I knew that there were like some like Illuminati like group, but like this random dude says like, oh, I'm a Mason. What's wrong with a Mason? Yeah. Yeah, and then if they run out of like different religions, like they'll exterminate all like the non-Protestant evangelical religions, and then once they are done with that, then they'll go after probably disabled people, right? Because they got to keep the gene pool nice and pure. Yeah, all of a sudden, yeah, being, yeah, all the disabled, or like anyone who isn't fit, anyone who's degenerate, right? Yeah, yeah, it's funny, like a lot of like degenerates support in America, like support very far right movements, which is ironic because like they would be the ones who would like be put into re-education camps to purge them of their degenerate behaviors, right? All these like anime watching incels. Yeah, if you're an incel, like you wouldn't be a good Nazi. You would be considered like a loser by like Nazi standards. But of course, like there were a lot of losers back in the Nazi regime. Anyway, yeah, they gotta keep finding groups to put in the out group, right? And then yeah, there's like a lot of in today's Republican Party, there are some black people, there are a growing number of Latinos that are joining the Republican Party, and there are Asians, of course, and they sort of play nice with them, like, oh yeah, of course, you don't have to be white to be a real American, but that's not what they really think. I mean, maybe some of them really think that, but yeah, once they start going, once they get enough popular support, these real Americans, and they get enough power, they feel like they can go mask off, then they'll say, oh yeah, you're not a real American. You gotta be white to be a real American. That's what they'll say when they feel like they can say it, right? And then they'll be like, these Latinos will be like, what? I thought you were my friends. I thought I just wanted to have lower taxes and I don't know, stop all this gay shit from happening. I didn't think you were actually racist. Oh, but they are racist. You just wait. You just wait and see just how racist your so-called friends are.
Are your enemies? These are the people who are trying to
These
take
are the
over
people.
our country.
Yeah,
Now
what are
you
the
know
Freemasons
them.
doing?
You know what they stand for, and it's up to you and me to fight them.
Literal soapbox preaching here.
Fight them and destroy them before they destroy
Ah, whatever. Oh, that's good to see, like, all these guys were like, yeah, whatever, this guy's just crazy, yeah. The Freemasons, he's going after the Freemasons. Yeah, my best buddy's a Freemason. Don't be a sucker. Yeah, don't be a sucker. Oh, the U.S. War Departments, yeah. Back in the day, they had the War Departments. It was just a bunch of big buff dudes being like, all right, boys, time to go to war. Go get 'em, boys. But now, it's not so optically viable to have a Department of War. No, it has to be a Department of Defense, right? Yeah, it can't be. It can't be like, oh, we're just doing war. No, it's defense, right? We're just defending ourselves, and that's more palatable in this day and age.
Before he said Masons, you were ready to agree with him.
Yes, but he was talking about... What about those other people?
What about those other people? I mean, they're people just like you, dude. They're just regular dudes trying to live their life, trying to, like, have a job and like, provide for their families, but, like, they just have to be othered so that they can be used as a scapegoat for all the country's problems, so they can be used as an enemy, right?
But in this country, we have no other people.
Yes, there's no other people.
We are American people.
There are no others.
What about you? You aren't American, are you?
I was born in Hungary.
Okay, but now you're an American.
Now I'm an American citizen.
He's
I have
hungry.
seen what this kind of talk can do. I saw it in Berlin. I
Uh-oh.
was a professor at the university. I heard the same words we have heard today. But I was a fool then.
I was a
I
fool.
thought Nazis were crazy people, stupid fanatics.
Oh no, but you don't have to be crazy to be a Nazi supporter, unfortunately. Yeah, a lot of Nazis are crazy, but yeah, once people are put in a desperate situation where they can be taken advantage of, then they can be convinced by all sorts of crazy rhetoric.
But unfortunately, it was not so.
So,
You see, they knew that they were not strong enough to conquer a unified country.
so they had to divide the
They split
country.
Germany into small groups. They used prejudice as a practical weapon to cripple the nation.
Ooh,
Of course, that was not easy to do. They had
Wasn't
to work
easy.
hard to do it.
and they're working hard.
We human beings are not born with prejudices. Always they are made for us. Made by someone who wants something. Remember that when you hear this kind
That's
of
true.
talk.
That's true. Yeah, human beings are not born with prejudices, but they do sort of naturally arise, right? I mean, there's all this talk about why people become racist, and it's like, oh, black people commit more crimes than white people, so that's why it's okay to be, like, biased against black people, which is not true, but it is true that, like, black people commit more crimes, but yeah, that fact is used by like these people, these right-wingers or these fascist types, to, like, play on your whatever prejudices you may feel, whatever natural prejudices may arise. They will play on that, right? They will because fear and anger are very motivating factors, right? They're very strong emotions, very base animalistic emotions. So if someone can harness that fear, that anger, then then they can make you do all sorts of shit. Because like if someone is attacking your country and attacking, like trying to destroy everything that you love, everything that you know, then of course it would be natural to do anything and everything that you can to stop that, right?
Somebody's going to get something out of it, and it isn't going to be you.
Oh yeah, what are you going to get? Yeah, what are you gonna get, like, out of this? Yeah, being anti-black does not mean being pro-white. That's a common misconception, right? Just because you're like oppressing this other group does not make things better for you. No. In fact, by putting down your fellow man, you're hurting yourself in a way, because those guys could be working together with you towards something greater. But no, you gotta feel like you're on top of things. You gotta feel like you're better than someone else, that you're in a hierarchy and you're above others. There has to be someone below you to feel like you're above others, unfortunately. It went viral. Oh yeah, the Charlottesville rally.
We must judge each man
As an individual.
individual,
Yes.
and not by the color of his skin or his eyes,
The length of his
or
nose.
by the length of his nose.
That's a Jewish thing.
Remember
Uh-oh.
that there is no master race.
Oh, master race.
Scientific truth.
That's the truth. That's the real
Anyone
truth.
who tells you otherwise is lying.
Oh, smack. Oh, uh-oh. Boom. Yeah, of course. That's literally 1984. Right there.
I happen to know
So,
the facts.
yes, that's the story of fascism. And now fascism is back on the rise for various reasons around the world. And of course, there are people saying that it's no big deal. There is not a danger for Italian democracy.
Is absolutely
Fake
a
news.
fake news. That is not a
Former
danger
Italian
for
PM.
Italian democracy. She's my rival. I'm rival. We will continue to fight each other. But the ideas are now there is a risk of fascism in Italy. Is
Fascism.
absolutely a fake news.
It's fake news. Yeah, and when even Piers Morgan says she's just center right. Yeah. The left should stop calling every conservative opponent Nazi fascist. It's so lazy. Yeah, well, a lot of people are saying this, but it seems like there is something to it. I mean, she is the most far-right prime minister since Mussolini. That doesn't mean much on its own. I mean, the most far-right since Mussolini, so she's not as far-right as Mussolini. But oh yeah, capitalism destroys all opposition from the left, and does not attack its right, which means, oh, the only opposition that's left is the fascist ones that reinforce the economic drivers that leads to fascism, or fascism reinforces the economic and like political forces that lead to it. Unlike left-wing movements, which would actually be something different. Now, what am I looking for? To end this by looking at the definition of fascism. I know, actually, I know it's funny to say, oh, actually, the definition of fascism is this, but people disagree about the definition of fascism. They say, I actually like got into an argument about like what fascism is. There's a anime called Legend of the Galactic Heroes, and there is a galactic empire that is literally like a feudalist monarchy, and I called it fascist, and some nerds on Facebook were like, that's fascist? Oh, so everything you don't like is fascist now? Wow. These radical lefties, like, okay. It's literally like a monarchy. Is that not fascist? It's not fascist enough for you. I guess it's not for these people, but if you go into like the lore of the story, even if it's not fascist 500 years after it was created, the beginnings of it were very fascist. The way it came to power, the way the first of the Golden Balm dynasty rose to power was in a very fascist manner. So let's just read the definition of fascism. This is a very broad definition. A political philosophy, movement, or regime, such as that of the fascisti, that exalts national and often race above the individual, that stands for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of opposition. Yeah, so it comes from the Italian word fascis, or fascisti. That was the original. Oh, hello. Thanks for following. Taco Bell Playa. Yeah, just going over the Italian Prime Minister that was just elected, and the rise of various far-right movements around the world and why it's happening. So, thanks for following. And the origin of the word fascist begins with the fascis, the bundle of rods with an axe among them, which fascists use as a symbol of the Italian people, etc., etc. And yeah, the fascist is a bundle of rods. So it's like that's why it's for like a centralized government, because they believe each individual should serve the country, right? Should serve the nation. And yeah, the prime minister, what was her name? I forgot it already. She talked about a lot about individuality and saving individuality, but she said they were going to solve that by what? Strengthening Italian national identity, which is, yeah, how is that going to work out? Yeah, fascism often puts the nation above the individual. The individual must serve the nation state, right? Yes, the individual must sacrifice all sorts of things. They must fight and die for the nation. So no more Domino's pizza. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. No more Olive Garden. Oh well. Yeah, Olive Garden sucks anyway. Yeah, this one guy said he's no longer going to go on vacation to Italy, which is I guess smart, right? I mean, there's all sorts of places you can go to vacation to. Honestly, Italy's kind of mid. I mean, it's got its perks, but like, it's got nice food, but like, lots of places have nice food. I'd say France has pretty nice food, right? Yeah, not England. Don't go to England. Yeah. Germany. Germany's very nice. Germany has nice food and nice beer. Best beer. Yeah, no more Domino's, no more Italian food. We're gonna get Chinese food for takeout from now on, right? So, all right. So, what is this? Conspicuously pipeline throat-shaped jack. What is this? Nope, I haven't seen any Nord pipeline lately, and certainly none that look mighty appetizing. Okay. Oh, this is in reference to the Nord Stream 2 pipeline that was just destroyed. The Russian pipeline. Yeah. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Listen up, Italy. In order to stop fascism, I'm gonna do the unthinkable, breaking the fascists of spaghetti straws. Nice. Yeah, you think you're strong together? Well, no, we're gonna crush Italian fascism, one way or another. Yeah, this represents Italian fascism. The hey, mamma mia, we're gonna do a little fascism. Yeah, this is literally a war crime. Makes it fit in the pot better. Yeah. Well, wait, does he have dreadlocks in this one? No, he just has long hair. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. No, when you're cooking spaghetti, like, yeah, like it's too long to fit in the pot, but like, and like sticks out of the pot, but like the part that's in the water will become soft, and then the rest of the pasta will like seep into it, right? The rest of the hard part of the pasta will go into the pot, and then it'll be right. War crime, literally war crime. Oh, you put pineapples on pizza. Well, yeah, that's a actual war crime. You know, everyone says that pineapple on pizza is bad, but like most of those people never actually have tried it. Apparently, yeah, you can't knock it till you try it. Apparently. No, not salting my pasta water anymore. Hey, you got this pasta. You got have the pasta water with the salt in it. What are you doing? Hank, no, you're just making them angrier. Hank, no! Don't do it, Hank! No! They're just, yeah, they're just, you're just pissing them off more. They're going to do fascism even harder now. No! You thought this was a fascist joke at first? It can be both? Wait, is it not? Yeah, it can be both. Hank, no! Don't do it! Hank! The only worse thing than breaking pasta. Are Italians against putting pineapple on pizza? You have to make those noodles a bunch of sticks with an axe. This is a pretty effective anti-fascist logo. You mamma di las mia, hey, pasta la vista, mamma mia. Nice. So, oh wait, so this was a joke, like, oh, we're gonna piss you off by breaking the pasta. But I thought this was a fascist joke, like the bundle of sticks joke. Yeah, it's like the analogy is like, oh, together, like, we're strong. Like, you can break one stick easily, but when all the sticks are together, then they're really hard to break, right? But no, you can still break them. Just go like that. Easy. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, literally a war crime. I say... just let the lower part get soft and then push in the rest. Yeah. The part that's in the pot will get soft, and then... yeah, do it then. Do it then. Break the pasta. I can totally do that. Are you kidding me? I mean... could I actually do that? I think I could do that. Totally, yeah. I have strong hands. Look at my big, strong hands. Oh, yeah. Just snap it in. I've snapped some big sticks in half. I would never do this because I do what this guy does, right? Just let the lower part get soft and then push in the rest. Right? I don't know why you can't do that. It all leads to this, right? Anyway, this lady, I still haven't figured out what her name... oh, Giorgia Meloni, right. Meloni wants to, she talks about, like, protecting individual identity, which seems to go against, like, the fascist ideal of like of submitting your individual identity to the government, right? She talked about oh, nobody's allowed to be a woman anymore, nobody's allowed to identify as a mother anymore. It's like yeah, they are. People identify as that all the time. It's just like you are offended by people who don't identify as that, as any of those things. So if anything, you are the one who is against individuality, right? It's kind of hypocritical of them. Anyway, yeah, I think we got the idea. So yeah, I'm gonna go take a piss, and then I'm gonna play Valorant for the first time. Yeah, epic games.